Look, every time that we have a conversation about economic development and about getting new jobs, and especially when we're talking about manufacturing, it's always notable to me that the people who are doing most of that talking don't really have any experience creating jobs, and they've got manicured hands. They're certainly not in the manufacturing business. So I'm actually here with at Velocity Restorations in right on the west side of Pensacola. This place employs 24 guys, Escambians, people who were born and raised here and educated here and trained here. They build this product that is shipped internationally. This is a very, very high-end vehicle. Economic development isn't about home runs. It's about base hit after base hit after base hit. This is a company that started off with a couple of guys in a garage on the west side building a product, and now they're taking this product to the highest level shows and selling them around the world. And it's important to understand that these guys did this without one single dollar of your tax money. They never asked for a handout, they never asked for a break. They just wanted an environment where they could work and do what they do. They're talking about expanding their building and building a new building, hiring people in from George Stone now. The real people who create jobs in Escambia County, what they really want from Escambia County and from the city of Pensacola is to get out of the way and let them do their job. We need to stop spending our taxpayer money trying to bring people in from outside of Escambia County, and we need to identify guys like this and make sure that we're creating an environment where these Escambia citizens can create jobs for more Escambia citizens. Today I'm standing here with Brandon from Velocity Restorations. Brandon is a Pensacola born and bred West Side business owner. Brandon, thanks for taking time out. I know you're busy, being that here's the government coming in here and asking you to stop working so you can talk, right? Thanks for taking the time and letting me come out, showing me what you guys are building here in Pensacola, and just talk a little bit about what manufacturing really looks like here in Escambia County.
You know, we really enjoy the community. We love giving back to the community. You know, me, Stuart and I, we're both the owners. We're both born and raised in Pensacola. We love giving back to everybody in the community. We enjoy being in our community and bringing in these builds, like people, this guy's from Seattle, Washington. This guy's from the Hamptons in New York. You know, these are people that would never come to our area that are coming to our area, you know, getting to see Pensacola, getting to see our builds. We're getting to bring in work that would be done elsewhere back into our community. And for us, it's all about Pensacola. It's all about portraying Pensacola. As beautiful as it is, the Navy base that we have, all the highlights we have, it's, you know, really being able to show off our hometown. So for us to be able to do this in our community is a privilege.
Okay, so let's talk about these trucks, because these are the trucks that we used in the Hunting Woods when I was in high school, but they didn't look like this.
Yeah.
So what do you do here? What are you making?
So these are restored modified. So they're still your classics. So they're still the classic bodies, but they're modified. This one has the Coyote 5.0 engine, same engine you would get in a 2018 Ford Mustang. This has a Corvette LS3 engine, so it's the same engine you would get in a Corvette. And they're putting out, you know, 350 horsepower, so they have a lot of modern technology in them, reliability, power, but you're still retaining the classic look. So point A to point B is a lot more practical now, where classic cars were always on the side of the road, something going out in them, family stranded. These are basically modern vehicles, but still classic.
So this is not something you're going to find on Craigslist?
No, not too often.
Who is your customer? Who are the people that are buying these things? You mentioned these two. I mean, is that typical?
Yeah, so our clients are actually a range of people. We build them for women. We build them for grandfathers that have a house up in Maine and they want their grandkids and them to ride around the area in a classic vehicle. And then wives and husbands and kids, everybody's enjoying this. Everybody's driving them because they're more practical. The old vehicles that broke down, the wives didn't care to get in and drive, not too often. Yeah. And a lot of times the father would never let the kid drive it. So these are being built for the whole family. So the whole family is enjoying these vehicles, and that's kind of what we like to see. And we have a whole range of buyers. And, you know, they range from people in their early 30s to late 60s. And then, you know, that's our normal market range.
Yeah,
is
but
right
it's
there.
A customer, I would assume it's a customer with a fairly considerable disposable income, because, I mean, that kind of customized work, that can't come cheap.
It doesn't. You know, there's 1,700 man hours that go into one of these builds. So that's what it takes to build these back. Quality, original, get rid of all the rust. That's what a quality build takes, 15, 1700 hours. But not everybody has to have that. Some people have another vehicle in our shop that's an original paint truck. The original paint, they just want everything modernized below it, so we can work with a different budget. So if somebody has a budget, let's say half of what these guys do, we can work with that. We have different packages we offer. All of our stuff is based off by the hour. That's how we come up with our price points. So we try to work with everybody, but the people that are building this, they're the people that back whenever they were in high school, they owned a vehicle. Back whenever they were in college, it was a vehicle they always wanted. And so now that they're a later point in their life, they're doing, decent, or, they're ready for that bucket list car. That's whenever they call us and we build it.
All right, let me back you up. So you're saying 1,500 to 1,700 man hours. And I'm looking around the yard. I mean, there are dozens of trucks here. There's trucks and cars in each one of the shops. You had mentioned that you were thinking about expanding. 1,500 to 1,700 per car, all these cars around here, that is a lot of Escambia labor force that's working. So all of that work is done right here in Escambia County?
100%.
You're not exporting any of that work?
Very, very minimal percentage. When we get into a high-end interior, that has to go to a shop. We have a couple local places we deal with. But when we built something for SEMA that went out to Vegas, that had to go to another shop, but very small percentage. I'd say 98% stays in our community.
So, and those are Escambia citizens that are doing that work?
That's it.
How many people do you have on staff here?
23, 25 people.
23 to 25 Escambia citizens that are doing this work. And so, how long have you been doing it?
We're a little bit less. We're close to a decade. We have, 7, 8 solid years into it. We started out with me, Stuart, the other owner, in the back of my dad's shop. It was a 15 by 20 booth. And that's where we started. We started tearing down cars. We put an ad on Craigslist to find a local guy. He's still with us today. He started the shop out with us, Craig. I mean, just phenomenal guy. He's dedicated. And so we moved from there. We moved into another shop, and now we've expanded 23, 25 employees. We're looking to expand another 60 by 200 building so we can, expand the business and also hire more people.
So in less than a decade's time, you've gone from a couple of guys working in a shop to all that we see around us now. You're exporting a product out of Escambia County. You talked about all over the nation. Those dollars are coming from outside of Escambia County into Escambia County. You got your first employee off of Craigslist.
Yeah.
But how do you staff up now?
So we go to local job websites we put out there. We still advertise a little bit on Craigslist, but we've been working with George Stone here recently. And the guy over in the welding department who I've been talking to has been phenomenal to deal with. He's very passionate about his students, and they're local people that now have a highly, skilled trade now. Instead of them going to Mississippi, going out on these oil fields, we can give them a job doing metal fabrication, welding, rust repair, but they can manipulate metal, they can form metal, they can make these custom panels that we put inside the vehicle so they can extend on their custom training that they have. And we keep those students here in Pensacola.
Yeah, that's incredible. My son just left college for a semester to go and do an internship at a machine shop in Lake Havasu. So whereas you're building these very high-end resto customs, he's building this very high-end race ski. He's a jet ski racer, and so he's hitting me up every day, just so excited about doing carbon fiber layup and welding and manufacturing. It's amazing because here's a kid who came up through the Escambia County education system. Did very well over in Tallahassee at college, but wasn't excited about what he was doing. But just being able to work with your hands and build something like this, that's a very empowering thing for a young man. So you're pulling him now then from George Stone, so you're using some of the resources that the government has given you in terms of our education system, right? I mean, that's what your taxpayer dollars go to. But you've grown. I mean, any of the businesses that come through us and use all the tax incentives that we use, if they hit the kind of numbers that you did, we'd call that we'd be having a parade for them. But did you receive taxpayer benefits of any kind from, directly from the government for this?
No, not at all. We haven't.
So you pay your full share of taxes. You're not getting paid by the government to do any of this.
No, not at all.
No, that's and that that is the true. Well, first of all, that's very Pensacola, right? That's very West Side. I wouldn't want to take a handout from anybody, because then they might have an opinion about about what I'm doing, and I wouldn't want to give that up. The fact that you're actually hiring, and it's Escambia citizens, so this idea, one of the things that gets said a lot is that, our workforce isn't capable of operating at that level. Is there really? Is there a higher level of this kind of resto custom than what you're doing? This is the top of the game, right?
Yes. There's always higher. There's always more, and we're always pushing for higher. We're looking at possibly going to SEMA in the end of this year, 2019, and for that, it's a special show. You take a vehicle and you really push the limits on, and so basically
tour de force of your abilities, right?
That's it. And then so the kid that came over from Georgetown, we would work with it. This is your chance to build these custom panels that the nation's going to see. Everybody's going to see. It's a way to get your work out in front of everybody, but we're still representing Pensacola. Mm-hmm. So there is still, there is higher levels. We do it very minimal. This is what we see in the industry that we build Broncos in. We push to be at the top of the mark. And with us, it's not only the looks, it's also the practicality, the drivability, the braking, everything about it. We strive in everything that we do to be better and better.
Yeah, it's a funny thing, because I oftentimes hear people poor mouth Pensacola or poor mouth Escambia County, and yet in robotics, IHMC is absolutely operating at the top of the game. They've got robots that run like human beings. Here on the West Side, the Blue Angels fly over twice a day. There is no better pilot in the world than the Blue Angels, and this is their home. The highest caliber cyber operations that are being done by the federal government. A lot of that was created right there at Corey Station. So it's always weird when I hear people say that the kind of poor mouth Pensacola, when in fact we're building this kind of high quality product, and people come from all over the country, not just to buy it, but they actually come to actually see it being built. Because the process that creates it is, it's machining, but it's art as well. So I think that it's important for us, as we talk about economic development, to really understand that 10 or 12 companies like Velocity is much more valuable to us as a community than one company out of here who doesn't understand our community, isn't dedicated to our community, and doesn't, and we're paying them to come here. We didn't have to pay you to come here. You fell in love with this place indigenously.
That's it. Oh yeah.
So so Escambia County earned your love, Pensacola earned your love, and you it. So what would it take to get you to leave Pensacola?
We don't have any plans on leaving. We love being here. Our family's here. Stuart and I, like I said, we're both born and raised, so we've established our families here, established them in the school systems, and we love the community. We love giving back to the community. We enjoy highlighting the community, mm-hmm. And we don't have any plans on leaving the area. Yeah. At all. And so
you were mentioning earlier when we were talking that you actually shop here in Escambia County. You don't go to Amazon.com for all the stuff that goes into these trucks.
Anything we can buy from a local brick and mortar store, we try to. Down to car stereo equipment. Everybody knows you can go on Amazon and buy anything you want for car stereo equipment, but we go to one local shop. They give us all of our stuff. And sometimes, sure, it's a little bit more, but we're giving back to community, because what happens if something happens to Amazon, or Amazon decides to start hiking their prices, they have no competition. I don't have a local guy to go to, so mm-hmm. If I can highlight a local guy, I can go to them and buy the product. I'm going to go to them. I'm going to give back to the community, because giving to them, it keeps the city alive, and we lose every brick and mortar store, then everything's online. So you can't go and get stuff same day. Hey, I need this part. So if I'm giving to them in 2 years from now, 1 year from now, whenever I'm in a pinch and they're still open, I can go to them and get my part, and so we do that with so many local companies. Sure, we still have to buy outside the community, but we give as much back to the community that we can buy from. on our vehicles.
Brandon, I would venture to say that their service after the sale is pretty incredible too, because those guys recognize you could go anywhere. They're your neighbors or your friends, and they're going to actually commit to you better, throughout. Now, the one thing though that I always, all of our discussions at the county level, how can we help small businesses perform and prosper? And it's funny because we ask that question all the time, but we never ask it of guys like you, the ones that really that we really ought to be talking to. And the one thing that I get back when I do actually talk to business owners is, first of all, Commissioner, stay out of my way. don't get in the way with the regulations and those kind of things, and make it easier for me to get through the permitting processes and all that kind of thing. So I hear that quite a bit. But what about for velocity? I mean, you've managed to prosper, and sometimes the smartest thing the government can do is not meddle with things that are working. But what should the government be doing at the local level to make more guys like you decide to create another Velocity Restorations?
Well, shops like us, like what we look for is a willing community to let us highlight it. It's taking these vehicles and setting up photo shoots. It's at the baseball field highlighting our baseball team. It's going out to the beach and highlighting our beach. It's going in front of local restaurants that have been here forever. It seems very minuscule to take a truck like this and park it in front of those, but our following is nationwide, and we basically can expose areas of Pensacola, with these vehicles, without putting it in front of people. It's their backdrops. Our baseball field is in the backdrop, but it's showcasing our community. It's keeping it in Pensacola and highlighting, what we do here and what Pensacola produces. These are Pensacola employees. We are born and raised in Pensacola. Our builds are built here in Pensacola. The products come to us and we build it. So it's showing what we can put out in Pensacola. And we won a lot of awards with our builds. We don't take these to shows and we do okay. I mean, we won Builder's Choice in several shows that we entered it. We entered it in 2 shows, we won in both shows. And that's people in the building community. That's not somebody that went to a 2-week school and I can judge cars now. These are builders, well-known builders in the community or in the national community, and they're picking our vehicles. So it's showing what we build here in Pensacola, in our town, with Pensacola employees.
The amazing thing about that is that excellence always breeds excellence. So the kind of people who are looking for this caliber of excellence are exactly the kind of people that would come to Escambia County and look for this level of excellence of a beach or of an experience on the coast. So it's funny because I'm sitting here asking you, what do you need from government? And actually what you're telling me is the thing that you need the most is actually would be more beneficial to us, I think. We spend a lot of money on advertisement trying to get new people to see Pensacola and Escambia County in a positive light. And what you're telling me is that you've got an audience that appreciates excellence, and you're wanting to actually highlight Pensacola in the same process. So that's it's amazing because normally you think, oh well, companies like yours, they're really looking for tax breaks, they're looking for somebody to teach their workforce. I don't think you would trust the government to teach your workforce to build something of this caliber. But they're always looking. People think, and if you listen to the dialogue, it's telling us that business owners like you are really asking for a handout, and that's not at all what I just heard from you. So I appreciate the opportunity to come and look. I mean, this is the kind of thing, if I didn't have to work and if this wasn't a working place, because I know that your workers are all sitting around going, I can't wait till the politician leaves so I can get back to work.
Oh, no,
this is the quietest it ever is here, right?
We enjoy it, and we enjoy people from the community coming in, the local news journal coming down here and doing articles and highlighting, what we're doing. But for us, it's not about, we're not looking for handouts. We never have from day one. We've never, went out there and had a loan. We've grown naturally. For us, it's highlighting the community. It's bringing these people in to Pensacola International Airport that are, that wonder, hey, do y'all have an airport there in Pensacola? Sure we do. Pensacola International Airport. Fly in here, hang out for the weekend on the beach. Let's take a look at your car. Let me let you borrow a Bronco, ride it out there on the beach, enjoy your weekend with your family. Come back, we'll lay out the finalized build plans, and they go home. But it's the beach is a great point. I point all of the clients that come in out there, downtown Palafox, the areas around here, it's the highlight of Pensacola, but we're bringing people in that weren't here. And for us, that's what it's all about. And getting exposure, with Pinnacle Points of Pensacola, being able to put it out there on, to the whole United States and people beyond that, it's great for us. It's rewarding,
That's
it's
awesome.
rewarding to give back.
Sounds like Visit Pensacola could learn a few tricks from you as well. So yeah, no, it's interesting that you put somebody in Pensacola, in Escambia County, you give them a taste of our lifestyle for just a little while. Once they've had the first bite of that apple, they're coming back.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I really appreciate your time, Brandon. Is there anything else really that you think we ought to cover while we got a little bit of microphone time?
No, I mean,
all right.
I'm good.
Well, I tell you what, like I said, the time is extremely valuable to me, and what I'm hoping to do is by highlighting guys like you who actually know how to create jobs in Escambia County, hopefully we will, change the dialogue in this community away from the instant gratification and really focusing on that, it takes 10 years to become an overnight success. It's hard work, it's diligence, and that hard work and diligence and dedication to your community, that is a sustainable kind of growth. That's not the kind of growth that is going to collapse, 2 days from now.
Yeah, I agree. And what's really neat about a lot of the local kids that have come in here, that have worked with us and that have learned things, like they sit there on their couch and they watch these car shows. They watch, Ken Diggett out there building awesome hot rods, and they look at all these other shops and they're like, I want to do that, but they live here. And they think they have to go to California. They think they have to go to Texas or, those areas to work in those jobs. And that's not the case. We are building quality builds like they're building, and they can do that here in Pensacola. They don't have to leave the area, they can stay here. Yeah. So that's fun is getting, I was young and really wanted to get in the car industry. And, I've always had a passion for cars, and, I never thought that I could do it here. To be able to do it here and then be able to give other people in the area to be able to live that dream and to apply it to vehicles that go on a national level and get put in front of top builders in the industry. We fly our guys out there to these shows. We fly them out there to SEMA. We let them meet them. We let them meet everybody. They get to talk to people in the industry, get points and tips. So, it allows us to keep these guys local, to allow people to do something that they always dreamed of, and then be able to go out there and get national recognition for it.
Well, I think that's the dream for everybody, every parent in Escambia County, that my kid be allowed and be able to operate at a very high level, based out of home, yep. to perform at the highest levels, to get that good cyber job, to compete with the best in California or Washington D.C., but not have to leave home. When we have an economy that actually grows the best and keeps the best here, I think then we're really truly achieving something and really being the best Escambia we can be.
That's it. And what mom doesn't want to lose their kids? They get to keep them in the area. They don't have to go visit them out in California.
Especially when the grandkids come around.
That's
right?
it. Exactly. So it's
Brandon,
good.
I appreciate you, man.
Hey,
I'll let your crew
it.
get back to work, and by all means, in terms of getting you and getting something of this caliber out on one of the beaches of Perdido Key.
I'd love that.
Give me a call at the office and we will definitely do that. And that way we're highlighting Perdido Key to a whole new audience. So,
that'd be awesome.
I mean, that's a win-win situation.
Oh yeah.
Thanks a lot,
Hey,
Brandon.
appreciate it.
I hope you enjoyed the conversation. I hope you take something away from it. And let's start to shift the dialogue of economic development away from handing out taxpayer dollars to using taxpayer dollars to create an environment and an infrastructure where guys like Brandon here at Velocity can keep putting more Escambia kids to work building awesome products.